Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. This is A Life Well Spent. My name is Kelly, and on this channel, I document my financial journey. It is actually already into December, and I owe you 2 videos of weekly transactions. That's one of the things I do on this channel. I will go through kind of my spending week by week, and then I will do kind of a closeout of my entire November budget. But I was traveling for about, I don't know, like 10-ish days towards the end of November over my Thanksgiving break. So, with that in mind, seems like it's just a better idea to kind of do a wrap up because it sort of encompasses the spending of the 2 weeks. But um, yeah, it's going to be kind of like a combo episode. So it's going to be a little bit different than usual. But because it's going to be a long one, without further ado, let's get into it. Oh boy, like I said, this one is going to be a doozy because I spent so much money. I feel like I should probably go back through my other years of budgets, and I feel like November is probably my like highest spend month. Probably worse than December because I like to kind of have a lot of my shopping and stuff done in November for Christmas. And because of like Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals and things like that, I would be willing to bet that I spend more money in November than any other month. Maybe that'll be a goal for next year to not do that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm just weak, or like I'm spending so much anyway because I'm buying gifts and stuff, and so I get to the point where I'm like, well, what's another $100 for this thing here? I don't know. I don't know. My heat is on, and it's like causing the sage to go. I don't know if it's quite on camera or not, but if it is, sorry if that's distracting. Um, yeah, it's still hanging there. It feels like finally actually feels dry enough. This is interesting because what I put in my dehydrator, like it never felt quite this dry. So yeah, I guess I'll try to use it sometime. We'll see. Anyway, so this is, I think I did a week 1 and a week 2 transaction. So this is 3 and 4. And I spent most of week 4 on my trip. So, and to be clear, I'm actually doing some credit card churning and getting some travel points and things like that. So I started it last month with the goal of with a Chase Sapphire Preferred card, and I think I had to spend like $3,000, and I got 60,000 points. So to spend $3,000 in 3 months, and I opened it in October, and about a week or two into November, I hit the 60,000, and so I kind of was hemming and hawing about like, should I get another one yet? Should I not? And realistically, like what made me pull the trigger on the Chase Sapphire was knowing that I was going to be going on this trip. My plan was for me and my mom. We were going to the Bahamas. We went on a cruise. And I thought, you know what? If like we were going to be in Miami for a couple of days before the cruise, for a couple of days, or well, for a day after the cruise, and then we were taking a train home, and we'd be like making purchases on the train, and parking from the airport and all of that kind of stuff. And I thought, like, I'm going to spend between the two of us, if I pay for everything and she just gives me her half, like I'm going to put a lot of spend on the credit card. So like I'm definitely going to get to the 3,000. Well, I got to the 3,000 long before, well before we left. And I was hemming and hawing, and I thought, you know what? Like I think I'm going to go for another one. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to because I didn't want to like, I mean, just searching for the first card or getting my credit run for the first card, like put a knock on my credit score. And I was like, ugh, I don't know if I want to do another one or not. But then between that and a conference that I'm going to in February, I was like counting out the days, going like, okay, am I going to get there? And I wanted to be at least close enough to that conference so that I could include that conference, because again, the spend is going on my credit card, but I'm going to get reimbursed, so I'm not even really paying for it. So I was like, okay, definitely like want to have it at least then. And then I kind of hemmed and hawed, and I thought, like, should I just get it sooner? My plan was to originally was going to be to kind of get it in January and give like a little bit of space because my conference is in February. And the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I have so much to buy. Like, I didn't think the Sapphire was going to get there until after I was done buying for Christmas. Cause like I didn't buy anything for Christmas yet. I didn't, was going to pay for all the stuff on the trip and all of this stuff. So I was like, I'm definitely going to get to the $3,000 to spend. Perfect. And then I got there way early and I was like, oh, I kind of felt like I was wasting the spend if I didn't get the card. So I got the next one, which was the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless. And so it looks like I have spent way more than I have because I was also buying things for my mom, like things that we were doing together as a group. Like I would purchase and people would pay me back. Like my friend, I paid for the gas down and my friend said, well, then, since you were buying gas, let me, and, mileage on your car and stuff like that, let me buy the parking. So she gave me the money for the parking, but we put it on my card anyway. So that's kind of how we did. And so there's so many, oh my God, there are so many transactions. But even if I take those out and like the travel spend out, I still feel like I have spent a ton of money that I don't normally spend. Now, I do save up money to spend on like Christmas gifts and things like that. So I don't think that there was a ton of it necessarily that was like pulled out of regular budget and like me blowing my budget, because a lot of the money was saved specifically to be spending at this time. But there were a couple of surprises that I kind of pulled the trigger on, and I'll get into that in a second. But we'll start here. Well, actually, we'll get into it right now. Here's one surprise. So I'm learning a lot more about using like points to travel and things like that. And Hawaiian Airlines had a deal for $635. You could buy 25,000 miles, and then they were going to give you a 25,000 mile bonus. Or I think probably just doubled it, maybe. I'm not sure. I that was a range that I was good at, like 50,000 miles on Hawaiian Airlines, which you could transfer at that point to like other airlines that have other partners, what have you. Bottom line is, I have 50,000 miles that I can trade in on certain airlines. And I'm not sure off the top of my head which ones they are, but like, for example, let's say United Airlines is one of them. So then when I go to Europe again, I could fly business class for those miles for that $635 from like New York to London, because it fits within that range that can be the value of those miles. So I kind of looked at that and I was like, well, two things. I know that next winter, my mother and I are going to take a trip to see the Christmas markets in, like we're going to go sometime over Thanksgiving. I don't know if it's going to go like before and, lead up to it, or start around our Thanksgiving break and go after. Like we really haven't sorted out exactly when we're going to do it, but it'll be around the Thanksgiving holiday. Because that's it's a great time for us to go, because we can get a lot of bang for not a lot of vacation days. My school district does, sometimes we're off Wednesdays. The kids are off all week. Teachers usually go Monday, Tuesday, and admin go Wednesday sometimes, not always. We'll see what next year's calendar looks like, but we get Thursday, Friday, and we get Monday off in Pennsylvania, because the Monday after Thanksgiving is the first day of fall deer season, which is buck season, I think. And I don't think the city schools get off, but all the rural schools do, because otherwise you wouldn't really be able to have school, because everybody would be out hunting. So anyway, in fact, I think some actually have 2 days, but we just most just have the one. So like, knowing that, like, there's Thursday, Friday, Monday, there's 3 days I can be traveling, and then, put Saturday and Sunday in there, that gives me 5 days of travel without burning any vacation days. So kind of have to figure out. I tend to like to go before Thanksgiving, because that's only 3 vacation days. And then if I come back on Monday, like boom, I can go to work on Tuesday. So yeah, we'll see. I don't really know. We haven't decided. We got to kind of look around and we have decided that that's what we're doing, but we haven't decided if we're going to like pick a country and just do a bunch of the ones in one country, or if we're going to like country hop. I don't know. We just said that's what we're doing next year, and we'll start the planning process as soon as possible. But we just aren't there yet. We're still kind of like unpacking from the current one. Anyway, so when we go on that trip, like I can use that $635 worth of miles that I bought and fly over business class. And like if there's another sale, the more I think about it, if there's another sale, I might buy more. And I might at that point be able to buy like for, maybe $1,500 total, like a like round trip business class flight, or use like some of the miles and pay like 200 more dollars to get, if the distances are, not quite right or whatever. I don't know. But that kind of seems like a steal to me. So anyway, I had the opportunity, bought the miles, was not planning to buy the miles. So that came out of the travel fund when that was already fairly depleted because of the Bahamas. So there's that. Spent $28.25 at Walmart. I got some groceries that I needed for the week. It was kind of difficult to plan groceries out because I knew like I didn't want too many things because I was going to end up throwing anything out that was perishable because we were going to be gone so long. So I kind of had to sort of thread the needle of like easy to prepare things because I had way too much stuff to do. And, things that like aren't really gonna, I just was kind of, here's what it is. I needed to get a card for a friend, for her birthday. And so I got those things. And then I had to call and pay for roadside assistance. I had to pay $30 because I was going like 3 miles outside the zone. Something like up to 15 miles they tow for free. Anything after that, you have to like pay a certain amount for or whatever. And where the garage I was having to get towed was 18 miles away from where I was because the heat shield, I think it is the heat shield that protects my catalytic converter. No, something else. I don't know. Something fell down, and it fell down in a way that like it was still attached kind of in the back, and it fell down in the front. And I thought, oh, I can't keep driving because I don't want like that to get jammed into something and then like damage. So I pulled over, had to get my car towed, had to get it fixed. Like it wasn't terrible. In fact, I don't even think they charged me to fix it because they just removed it. And the I ended up while I was there, there's something down here for their Honda, $60.37. I got my my inspection and stuff like that all taken care of because it's due in December. And I was close enough to it that I was like, well, since you have it, you might as well do it. I got $7.75 from Rakuten, which is a little cashback thing. I feel like everybody knows what that is. And I sometimes forget to use it, but remind myself more and more. The trick with things like that is to make sure you're not spending money just because you get cash back. Just get cash back for things that you're already going to be spending money on. I think I've gotten like close to probably $500 or $600 cash back total because I often forget about it. But, I used to buy so much stuff on Amazon, just kind of that was my go-to place to get anything. And Amazon doesn't do Rakuten. So now that I've gone away from it, I feel like I've gone away from Amazon. I'm getting more and more stuff. So it works for me. All right. Target. I went to Target to get mom's texting me, a phone screen protector because I should have kept my old one. Oh my God. It was so cracked and broken, but I will say these like glass screen protectors are amazing because my actual screen was perfectly fine. Even though it looked like it was cracked and everybody would be like, oh, did you crack your screen? And I'm like, nah, I just cracked the cover. And then for the longest time, I thought like, I don't really want to bother with a new screen because I'm going to end up getting a new phone and then I need a new screen because they never match and, yada, yada, yada. And I ended up needing a new case too because it had splintered so much that it was like cutting my hand while it was like if I was pulling out of my pocket or the phone was in my hand, like I was definitely like feeling it. So I thought, all right, I'll just do it. So I did. I got a case and a screen protector. And it's already, if I look at this, I've already dropped this and the phone has already, like, this thing is already cracked. The glass thing is already cracked. But ever since I started using these, and I mean, this is probably like 15 years worth of phones with screens, or with this glass screen protector, and I've never had to replace a screen. And I just jinxed myself. Okay. Then I went to the grocery store. I got some Zycam because I got some food and stuff for cheesecake that I had to make for our holiday party. And I got some Zycam because I had this problem, and that's part of what I ended up getting. I had this kind of sort of cold for like 2 weeks before we left for the trip. I was so stinking mad too, because I was like, you got to be kidding me. I do not want to be sick on the trip. Please don't tell me I just got COVID. It was the weirdest thing. It was super mild. And it was like, I spent like a week of feeling like, oh, any day now I'm going to get sick, which I don't know if you quite feel it when you're younger, but as you get older, like, you can definitely start to feel like your ears will itch one day, like your throat feels for a little froggy, you're starting to feel a little congested, and you're like, any day now, like tomorrow I'm going to wake up and like my head is going to be so stuffy and like I'm going to be miserable. And it just never happened. Like, it was like 5 days in a row that I was like, are you kidding me? Am I getting sick, or like what is happening? But and then I just kind of was like, continued to stay mellow, but like never felt any better either. Like, I didn't feel worse, did not feel any better. I do not know. I cannot explain it. And somebody was like, hey, take some Zycam. That will clear it up. And I went, good idea. So bought like some snacky stuff for the trip and whatnot. Now, my friend, we bought our mutual friend a gift, and that was her share of that. So she gave me $45. Again, I spent $60.37 at the dealership to get. Well, they didn't really charge me for the car. It was pretty much the inspection. Well, then I went to CVS, spent $10.58, and I just got meds for the cruise. Because mine were out. Well, they weren't out, but they were like expired by a couple of years. So I was like, yeah, we're not gonna. The thing about a cruise is like, there's a lot of things you don't have to take because they will have on the ship. But if you buy them on like, you're paying a premium to buy them on the ship. So we just got some stuff like Imodium. I got like a little thing of Tums. I forget what else. Some things, like I said, I already had, like a leave and whatnot. I got some like cold medicine just in case, like, I was gonna need it at different times. Now, I didn't get the cold medicine I think I just got the Imodium at CVS. But anyway, probably at some point here, maybe this other trip to the grocery store, there was some of that too. Just got it because I was like, well, I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it and have to pay like $20 for a pill. Anyway, I bought some wreaths. There's a gal in my that I work with. Her son is involved with a Boy Scout troop, and they, as a fundraiser, make Christmas wreaths every year. So I bought 3. I buy 2 for me because I have like 2 front doors. It's a weird looking house, but so I bought 2 for my front doors, and then 1 for my mother's front door, and I've been doing that now for years. So spent $25.41 at Sheetz. That was basically me just kind of topping off so they didn't have to stop to get gas on the way to the airport because we had to leave the house at like 5:15 in the morning. All right. And then I'm trying an experiment. I got a yearly subscription for $99 to the Daily Drop Pro. And I decided to do this because one of the things that I really, really want to do this year, I upped my travel this past year, and I was glad for it. This coming year, I want to do a lot more foreign travel. And the Daily Drop is a site that will kind of coordinate. We will get notifications about things being super cheap, drop in prices. And you'll get like, they kind of have a platform that help you sort of coordinate like points and things like that to sort of figure out like what's the best value and all of that sort of stuff. So I thought it would be worth it because frankly, I'm looking at some of I just got one now, round trip fares from New York to Rome have dropped to $368 for nonstop itineraries. For for dates in April. Now, I don't plan on going to Rome in April, um, but I anticipate that I'll see things like that are closer to like when I can and do want to fly, right? So if I see something that's like, holy crap, I can spend, I can fly to Paris for like $350 in May, like I might take it up on that because that's what I would like to do. So anyway, I decided that was probably a good use of my money for the time being, and I feel like I will easily make $100 back. And then I bought the Money with Katie wealth planner. It's the first time I've ever bought it, and I like it so far. I like some of the things that they do. I think I need to tweak some things. I think I've done things incorrectly, so I'm always kind of on the lookout for things to like help me make some financial decisions, and that was $61.22. I spent $4.45 at Sheetz because I needed mayo packets because my mother and we were making sandwiches for our trip. We had like I had these like leftover brioche buns, and I had some cheese, and my mom had some ham, and I was like, why don't we just make like sandwiches, and we'll take some chips, and like that'll just be our lunch on the plane, what have you. Well, we both, if we're having ham and cheese, we like mayo, and neither of us had mayo packets. And I just did not feel right about going into Sheetz and just grabbing mayo packets. So I was like, okay, I'm going to buy some fries or something and then grab mayo packets. So that's what I did. All right. Now that is it for the pre-trip spending. And now we're going to get into like the obnoxious trip spending. So my mother and I went to this like awesome little barber pub thing in Miami. There was this like really cool street festival going on, and we were like walking and kind of enjoying that. And then I like walked past this barber shop, like there's a pole and everything and like a flag that was like barbershop. And there's these like 3 tables right outside, and they're drinking beer. And I was like, I'm confused where people got this beer from. And I'm thinking, the barbershop has just told someone in the festival that like, oh yeah, you guys can set up tables here. So I'm like looking around to see where you buy the beer, and I'm looking inside the barbershop, and sure enough, like on the one side there was the chairs, mirrors, all of that stuff for the barbershop, and on the other side there was a bar. I'm like, oh my God, we can get beer here. So we did. We got some beer, my mom and I, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. My mom had probably her favorite beer of all time there. She really, really loved it. We swung by Walgreens. We spent $46.58. We initially, because we were checking a bag, and I did a carry-on. My mom did a checked bag. And we knew if we checked the bag and checked it with like full-size toiletries, like shampoo and stuff like that, we knew that it was going to be too heavy. So we basically bought it all down there. So we bought like sunscreen, lotion, like all the works, whatever, $46.58. $6.37 to buy something, probably a coffee or something. Cafe Bastille, $57.02. I just realized my friend owes me for that. We were out and about, and we were like, hey, we're going to grab breakfast. You guys want something? And we just made an order. Then we went to Margaritaville for dinner one day. It was awful. $61.73. Like, my mom liked her meal. Mine was just meh. I have to say this for Miami, and I can't believe I'm saying this because it's Miami. How does Miami have terrible food? But like, every meal I had, save for one, was just blah. Just meh. Nothing spectacular about it. In some cases, downright not good. The place we went to, this black market downtown, my mother and I, like, we had a beer and we had appetizers to start. And I was like, these appetizers, like, I just kind of looked at her. I was like, I don't want any more food here. Like, this is not good. And I was starving, which is the only reason I finished eating what I had. Because otherwise, I would have just been like, you know what? Well, let's just go. But anyway, I got a little souvenir at the I Love Miami shop. I got a little ornament to put on my tree. Then we went to the Sky Views thing where, like, it's like the big, kind of like the London Eye. It's a big Ferris wheel. So we did that, $48 and a penny. Back to my Bayside Margaritaville. I would not have honestly expected the Margaritaville to be like amazing or anything, and I will say I just got like their appetizer platter because I thought like, it's kind of lighter, whatever. Spinach dip, just okay. The spring rolls that came with it, they weren't actually spring rolls. They were like taco spring rolls or some kind of, I don't know. Those were amazing. Those were very, very good. And I forget what the other thing was that I got. Like, this is how it was like a chicken tender thing, but it was in like, I'm not sure how they were breaded, but I don't care for that kind of breading. And I was like, ugh, this is just like, just had no flavor. It was unfortunate. Anyway, Puffles. I went to Puffles with my mom and I like shared this waffle coney sort of thing. Like that was good. That was very good. She got pizza at this place and my friend's mom bought it and the two of them split it. And that wasn't bad. That was the best food we had was this place called Julia. It was like Julia and Henry's or whatever. And it was like this 3-story market with like, oh my God, there was probably 10 different places to eat on each floor. And I truly like was not that hungry. I was like, I don't even like think I can eat. Like I'm honestly, and at that point, like that was our last night in Miami. And so the food at that point had been so disappointing that I was like, I really don't feel like spending money on food to just be like, meh, this is just okay. So considering like I'm not even really all that hungry, like fine. And I think I ate 2 slices of their pizza, which wasn't bad. Now, we did not go get Cuban food, which I think would have made a huge difference. But like I was like, how can any restaurant around here get away with bland food? This is Miami. But no thanks. Then we had breakfast in the morning at the Courtyard where we stayed. $34.93. This is absolutely disgusting. I almost could not finish it. No, actually, I didn't finish it now that I think about it. It was like steel cut oats that were like the most over-soaked and over-bloated oats I've ever seen in my life. Absolutely no flavor. Just disgusting. I ate about half of it. When we got back off the ship, I went to Shake Shack because at that point, like I am all for trying like local food, like absolutely want to do that. We had been so disappointed so many times by the food that I was like, I know I can get a good burger at Shake Shack that I will eat. So, excuse me, that's what I'm sticking with. And then I have a bunch of a bunch of purchases from the Rosetta Bakery. It was this cute little bakery in Brickell where we were near our hotel, just like a block or so away. And I walked in because I was looking for a place that I could go and like pick up sandwiches in the morning for the train ride the next day. Well, for the train ride later that day, I should say. And so I was walking around and I found this little bakery and they have these gorgeous like ham and cheese baguettes. So I went in and like got some information, whatever. And the lady was like, yeah, like we can have this ready for you to pick up in the morning, but normally we don't have it for lunch. So just order it, go online and order it and it will be ready. So we tried to do that and it wasn't like we couldn't order it. It wouldn't let us. So I was like, okay, does she really mean that? Or is she just saying that to like get us out of her hair? And then like it becomes our problem. So then my mom and I were talking and I was like, well, let's go see if they even have some because like it should keep for a day, right? So like if we pick up one today, we can still eat it tomorrow. It shouldn't be a big deal. So we did. So that was like one of those purchases, which I think was the $12.73. And then the next day we went in to get breakfast and we also wanted like some of a pastry to take with us. We weren't quite sure what we wanted. So we're like, let's start with breakfast. So that was the $22.68. I asked for coffee. She didn't hear me. So then I had to order coffee and that was $4.17. And then we went back and spent the $16.62 on like just pastries to kind of eat later on the train. The rest were or coming up here are purchases made on the train because we took like a 28-hour train ride from Miami to DC. So we brought a lunch with us, but we needed to buy a dinner, we needed to buy a breakfast, we needed to buy a lunch. And I think we ended up just kind of snacking on our own stuff, knowing that like eventually we were going to be rolling into a train station and Union Station in DC and be able to like get food there. So that's what we did. So yeah, it was 15.25, 19.74, and then $8 for Amtrak. And then I got my mother and I went to Raising Cane's. Tried to go to Potbelly's, but they closed before we got there, so that was disappointing. Anyway, then we parked at BWI. It cost us $99. I think it was $9 a day, and I think we were there for 11 days parked. So these next two transactions are a little weird. They're basically one to kind of show the income coming in, and then one to show the money getting put back into the travel fund. And then I stopped to get gas on the way home, 38.57, and then I also bought some snacks because at that point, like it was probably, oh God, it was probably like 11 o'clock at night, 10:30, 10:45, getting on 11, and I knew we were going to be rolling home late. So I got myself like a tea and some snacks to just kind of keep me awake. So that was the 871. Yeah, there was the Julian Henry, 22.68. I bought beer, a round of beers. So, oh, sorry, my nose is just 22.68. SPC. So we stopped at one of the shops. I could kick myself for this one. I sort of felt like I didn't bring enough socks. And I thought, I'm going to work out in the morning. I fully intended to be working out in the morning. And my mother just could not keep up. So I really didn't break much of a sweat. And I thought, like, I think I'd feel safer if I just had some more socks. So I bought like a little 3-pack of socks, $20 freaking dollars later. Guess what? Didn't wear them. So anyway, the next set of purchases here are purchases that I ended up having to make on my Chase Sapphire because I got the Chase Marriott before I left. And one of the things I really love about Chase, and maybe they all do, I don't know, but they let you like put it into like Apple Pay and your Apple Wallet or Google Wallet or whatever right when you get approved. So that was really cool because anytime, as long as I could pay with my phone, I could use the Chase Marriott, even though I didn't have the card in hand yet. The card came like Saturday, and we left Saturday morning before the mail got there, or maybe Monday. Anyway, so if I could not do this, then I had to whip out the Chase Sapphire. So, went to Jimmy's Liquor. That's what the name of it was. We did a tour of the Bahamian Brewery, and so the tour tickets were $30, and then it was $13.10 for we bought some like souvenir beer glasses, and I bought a beer to take with me, a Rattler. And then we stopped at the Bahamas Distilling Company. Like there was a like kind of a little bit of an area around Freeport, and that was one of the places. So we tasted some rum and bought some rum. And then Oasis, trying to remember what that was. Oh, was this cute little place in Port Lucaya. We went to get ice cream because we were just absolutely roasting and needed a break, and it was a nice air conditioned place. So we got some, I guess, frozen yogurt. And here comes a series of Lyft expenses. So we took a Lyft from the airport when we landed in Miami to our hotel. We took a Lyft from our hotel to the cruise port. We took a Lyft from the cruise port back to a different hotel once we were done with the cruise. And then we also took a Lyft from the airport or from the hotel to the train station. So I think I'm missing one in here then. There should be 4. Yeah, ship to hotel, hotel to train, airport to hotel. I know what it was. My friend got the Lyft, not me. Okay. So they ordered it. I did not. And I probably owe them for that. Now that I realize. I don't think she and I have settled up. She definitely gave me cash for the thing. She kept trying to give me cash. I'm like, no, please Venmo me because then I have a record of it because otherwise I will forget. I cannot ever remember. All right, so those are all the transactions of the last 2 weeks of November. Now, what that does with my overall, that's December, overall November budget makes it a hot mess. So, fortunately, it was a 3-pay month for me. And my budgeted was about 5,700 because I never really know how that third pay is going to like work out, but it was 57.91.47. My mother ended up giving me $759.08. That's because she's like, I bought a bunch of things for her and she's paying me back for them. And then $301.82 of miscellaneous. Again, my friend paying me back and so on. Total income. Woo, look at me almost having a $7,000 month. Not really. 648.67 for my mortgage. That's going down like $1 next month. Yay. 49.75 for electric. I don't have a gas bill this month because I accidentally paid it last month. It's good times. I was I was attempting to see if I could use my Chase Sapphire, and like I kept expecting to get to see a fee being charged, and then I was going to back out of it because that happened with my electric bill, and I just didn't. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'll purchase it. I guess I'll go through and pay for it. And I realized after the fact, like, oh crap, that was early. Whoops. Oh well. So didn't pay it this month, paid it last month. $63 for sewer. That's a flat rate. $18.97 for water. Not really a flat rate, but I rarely go over its usage, so it is what it is. $42 for garbage. It was a garbage month. I pay it quarterly. Happened to be one of the months. Internet, $58. Cell phone, $71.78, which pretty psyched by because I thought it was going to be worse than that. Groceries, $419.48. Over a bit, but that is because I was sick, or at least felt like I was getting sick. And I think I think I just battled it like a champ because one of the things that happens when I get sick is I get ravenous and I want like junk food. So there's probably $119 worth of like stupid junk food I didn't need, and probably like cold medicine and stuff that I would have needed. But anyway, nothing on life insurance. That's also my quarterly thing. Gas, I spent $146.32. Did not spend anything at House and Garden. Restaurant, $97.68. I can live with it. $41.85 for fitness. That's pretty much just my membership to the Y. Miscellaneous, $208.99. And personal $208.99. Miscellaneous $186.04. So yeah, just a wee bit over on those. Like I probably could have been worse. I probably should have just planned for more. I wasn't really thinking truthfully about like the things that I would probably end up buying in November, and I just should have made more room for it. But oh well. $100 to brokerage account for my niece, $70.83 to my brokerage account, $500 to my Roth IRA, and then $654.08 of stuff for my mother. Grand. I don't know how much money I put in my emergency fund. So for right now, it's $156.69 because I know I put that in at one point during like a transfer Tuesday. And because I ended up spending so much out of it, and we didn't get back until the 1st of December, like in the middle of the night. So like really the 2nd of December. So I'm not entirely sure yet how much money goes where. And at first I thought I can probably put some money in. And I think what I decided to do was rather than yank everything out of my like travel fund and put that in the negative, I think I just kind of kept it there. And I was like, I'll just cash flow it for the month instead of like dumping a lot into my emergency fund, which I may end up regretting that because I think I might have been able to get to my $20,000 goal. We'll see. There may have been more. I also am struggling figuring out when money comes out of my bank account because when I'm paying bills with my new bank account, if I want a bill paid out on the 1st, like they pay it on the first, so they send the money early, which throws me off because if you've been here long enough, I try to start my month with a month's worth of income. So, like, I'm okay with everything going out on day 1, and, they'll get there by, like, the 8th or the 5th or the, like, whenever. But in order for some reason, the bank seems to think that, like, the money needs to come out before because it needs to get there on the first. It doesn't need to get there on the first. So I'm still sort of figuring out, like, what date I need to put on that to, like, get it to come out the first or second is fine. I don't care. I just don't want it coming out early because then it's hard for me to see how much money I have left over at the end of the month. I got to go back in and, like, add everything back up. So anyway, I have no idea what's going on there. Subscriptions, $155, spent $164. Nittany Lion Club, $17. I will pay that out in January, so that's getting close to the end. Giving Fund, I added $287.17 to top it up to $1,000. Car insurance, $59. I pay that, like, in February and August. Car repair, I budgeted $460 and actually put in $603.12, and I spent $90.37, and I did that knowing that, like, I was going to have to pay my for my inspection, and I'm putting back money that I had paid out for my the repair of my windshield. And I know that coming up in December I have to renew my tags, so that's usually like $50. Anyway, put $82.38 in my gift fund and spent $89. So there's $519.88 left in there. $50 into my garden fund. This is not really a time I spend. I'm just kind of building up for stuff that I will need in the spring. $608.91 into the travel fund, and I spent $1,560.57. That said, as of yet, my mother has not given me her half of things. This is another reason why, like, it's kind of a challenge for me to figure out how much money goes into my emergency fund right now. So she owes me probably close to like $600. So, that is not all of what I have spent. Let's put it that way. And then clothing, $167.75, and I put in there, and then I spent $74.75, leaving me with $480.75. So that is a very, very long video that I'm operating on right now. Oh God, it's been like 40 minutes. I'm kind of wondering if I shouldn't, like, break this, but we're rolling with it. If you're still here, thank you so much for watching, and I am not going to bother you any further on this video. See you next time. Bye. Oh boy, like I said, this one is